Hi guys, welcome back to Tech Trick Tutorial. Today we're going to talk about how to use constraints in Figma. It's a step-by-step guide to follow easily, so don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Let's dive right in. Now in today's video, we will be exploring one of the most difficult feature of Figma. Well, not really difficult, but something beginners find hard to understand. So we will be focusing on that today, and we will be showing you guys how you will be able to use it and how it works. So let me open a random project over here so that we could show you how to do it. So the constraints will typically appear when you have an element on your screen. So let me create a very simple frame over here, and let's create a rectangle, a simple shape, just like that. And let's color it as color red. Now, if you select a frame, that is not something, or the constraint is not going to appear over here on the right side. But if you click on an element or a shape, it will appear over here. As you can see, the constraint will be available. So let me screenshot this, just like this. And let's put it over here on our screen. This is what the constraint looks like. This one over here. As you can see, there's two options. You have left and the top, or rather the first section and the second section. Now the first section is the constraint regarding the left and right section. So over here, if you select this, the constraint will be assigned to left and right, center, and scale. And the one below that, which is the top over here, has top, bottom, center, and scale. So each of those settings will change a certain aspect of your constraints. Now let me show you a demonstration on how it works. Now right now, the constraint of this is left and top. So you can see here that there's a line, a dotted line over here, indicating where the constraints are. And the way the constraints work is that it will attach this specific element over here to whichever side you have selected. So right now it's on left to top, so it should be connected to the left and top of the frame. So if we enlarge this, as you can see, it's going to follow this area, the top left part. So if I move over here, if I move this one on the right side, as you can see, it's not really going to change the position. Of course, since I am moving it up and down as well, it's going to move since this is also attached to the top. But if we move the bottom part over here, it's not going to move, as you can see. So that is very important for creating designs that will do some auto layouting, wherein if you change the size of the frame, it should also move along or like adjust. And there's a lot of application for this. And let's also demonstrate to you the effects or what would happen depending on your combination. So right now we have left and top. If I change it to bottom, as you can see, the dotted line will move. Now if we move this, it will no longer affect the element if I move the top, and it will eat it up if you move it just like that. But if you touch it from over here the left side, if you move it from left to right, it's going to move it because this is now like a permanent barrier, or not a permanent, but a temporary padding, wherein if you move it a certain way, it should move along as well. Same thing over here below. If I select our frame from the bottom, it's going to move it as well. So there will be like a padding over here and a padding over here. It's not that obvious, but as you can see, it will move. So depending on where you place this, let's say I put it in the middle, it will also move along and stick to that, as you can see. You could do some combinations. For example, you could do left and right, or you could do top and bottom. The bottom, as you can see, will attach to the bottom. So if I do top and bottom, it will now attach to the top and the bottom as well. So if I play around with a frame, moving it to the right won't move it, but if I move bottom and down, as you can see, it's going to move. And it's also going to change the shape of the element, as you can see here, because of course, the padding, there will be a padding over here that will compress since it is on top and bottom. So that is, it's going to compress it, as you can see, and it's going to like flip it the more you go. And the same thing will happen if I set it to left and right. So now, since this is the location, if I move the frame, it will also, as you can see, adjust. Since it will change the shape as well. So you could imagine that as something pushing it against it. So putting it in the middle, as you can see, will change it entirely, as you can see, just like that. Now, if you wanted to adjust depending on the size of your frame, you want the shape to adjust whatever you do, there's options over here such as scale. If you select scale over here, let's go with the scale for left and right for now. If I move it to the left and to the right, it will automatically adjust, as you can see here. Of course, the adjustment will not be perfect, but it's no longer clipping, just like with what we saw over here earlier. So let me put it in just like that. Check it again. As you can see, it's going to flip the element because it's not up to scale. So if we set it up to scale, it will no longer do that, but it's still going to change the shape, as you can see here. So if we combine both of them, top and bottom and scale over here, it will now adjust, as you can see here. So this is something typically people would use to adjust to like the type of frame that they are using. So right now, this is on landscape. If I move it to portrait, it will adjust, as you can see here. It's not going to clip. So let's observe what will happen if I set it up to the normal one, like top and bottom to left and right. And I changed the size of the frame to landscape. As you can see, it's no longer going to be a rectangle. So imagine if that was a button and you suddenly change the shape, it's going to change drastically. So with the center, let's go with the center over here as the option. It will now have, or rather the frame will now adjust to wherever the element is. So for example, I put it over here on the bottom left. If I adjust it, as you can see, it's going to like maintain. It's not going to change much because it has a center constraint over here, meaning it will stick to wherever it is. So we could change it to whatever. So depending on your combination, it could be very useful for you guys, especially for wanting to adjust the shape. So for example, if I set it up over here on my layout page, if I set the layout over here, let's say I want it to be scale. So depending on the size of the frame, it will automatically adjust. So if I select my frame over here and let's see, we suddenly change it to a tablet size picture or like a tablet size frame, it's going to adjust, as you can see here. But of course, my interaction over here depends as well. So we're going to have to fix my layouting over here, just like that. So now if we change this, going to do the same. But as you can see, it's going to move around. But anyway, we were focusing on the button over here anyway. So this is something that we're going to have to fix. So that's basically it, guys. That is how you will be able to use constraints in Figma. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.